Whoa. Whoa. That was a pretty impressive. That was pretty good, Mike.
I've been working on it since I was 5 years old.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. I was wondering whether there was going to be. I was waiting for whether you're going to do the voice as well.
Oh, I can't do the voice. Gosh.
I think you need a desk fan for that. I think the desk fan's the best thing. Anyway, welcome to the show, guys. Sorry, that was another special intro for this very special edition of the ManCave weekly stream. I'm joined this week by Mike.
Hello.
There he is. And he will be joining us, hopefully, quite soon. But we're really excited at the moment. The ManCave is Christmas time, so we're excited about Christmas, obviously.
Yeah.
But
out come the Christmas jumpers.
Out come the Christmas jumpers, but also what comes out at Christmas as well, which we've been treated to the last about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was the relaunch of a very special franchise in all of our lives, and will probably continue to be there, and that is the Star Wars universe. And today we get to actually review a Star Wars movie for the first time on this channel. So we're really excited about that. Rogue One is going to be here today, and it's going to be spoiler-free. Spoiler-free Rogue One. There will be a spoiler talk about everything edition, which we'll probably film very soon. But today is going to be a spoiler-free, so don't worry about it. It's just an unbiased reviews. We're actually each going to give our 2 cents, talk about it all together about this film. So, but before we do that, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, looking forward to the Christmas season. Been catching up on some films. Very briefly went to see Sully with my mother over the weekend. It was all right. I thought Clint Eastwood was winging it half the
time. Very good.
Tom Hanks was on
over the Hudson, was he?
Yeah. Tom Hanks was on autopilot. Failed to soar to new heights.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do without Ron Howard, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, no, but it's all good, though. All good in the hood. And yeah, went to see Star Wars yesterday, which was a nice outing.
Because you got a Christmas coming up and everything. You're what are you going to be your plans over Christmas? Are you going to, because you did, got to mention this, Mike had his first proper online multiplayer experience with a bunch of us this week, and he did very, very well.
That was much better than what I was expecting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was real fun. I must admit, I don't want to toot our own home, but we were a bit more of a cohesive unit than I've ever found who we've ever played. There was some things happening where we were really working together, which normally Titanfall 2, you can just go off in different directions and then hope for the best, and it never really works. It really, if it's a cohesive unit of communication, of knowing where you're supposed to be, covering each other. The amount of times I actually heard just, mate, I just shot that guy. Oh, thanks, man. He was just about to snap my neck. And I was just like, that's brilliant. And then it was just like, everyone, bring your Titans in now. And that was it. We just doom, 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 like that. And then it's just a massive kind of like team effort. It was so much fun. I love that game so much.
There's one clincher. I didn't have a headset, and people were like, "Oh, Michael, you need to, you get your headset on." And me thinking I needed to order some big clunky thing, being the novice I am, I was like, "No, sorry guys, don't have the equipment." And people keep saying you can just stick your earphones in the control.
iPhone.
No, I don't have the equipment. I'm sorry. Maybe next time.
I was like, I know, because you've done this podcast with your iPhone headset. I said, just plug that in.
Just when you say I'm switching off, guys, and I'm there with the joypad, and I get controller, and I go, all right, it's a little
there's a gin jack on this.
All right, yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Literally, that's what happens.
we're dragging you kicking and screaming into the 21st century gaming realm, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, but you're doing all right. I can't wait to Andy. I mean, Andy's as well, not majorly into multiplayer, but even he said, mate, that was so much fun. I mean, he hasn't actually joined in with us yet.
Has he not?
No, he hasn't
a
actually
really
made
good
it.
time. That's probably it, because if I'm playing alone online, I'm like, well, not, you know what I mean, like on my own,
It
without
feels like
knowing
more of a
anyone.
grind. It does feel like more of a grind. If you've got people to talk to, then you feel like okay, I'm going to help him. It's like with you. I saw you were like laying waste with your Titan, and you were just standing there like that, and I could see almost a smile on your Titan's face, like this is awesome, like that. But then you were totally oblivious to the 4 pilots or the 3 pilots that were coming up behind you, and I was just like, I'll get them, like, running over you, and then just like killing these pilots that were about to jack you. But yeah, no, it's good fun. But we still will need to do a ManCave live stream of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're getting onto the business of the day.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, got released this week. I actually saw it on the day of its release. I didn't go to the midnight screening. I went to the one of the first showings of the day. Okay. First of all, let me just start by saying this should not be judged by Star Wars films, like the episodic type of Star Wars film. This is something different. This is a spin-off. This is a film in its own space. It doesn't. So it shouldn't be judged along those lines. So if you're going to go expecting to see the format of a Star Wars movie, then apart from it being in the universe, then that's fine. If you want to actually go in and see something that's in like almost, if you are a Star Wars fan and love the entire universe that it's in, then yeah, I wouldn't say it's a cash in. I wouldn't say it's it. I would say it is. You could easily call this something like, if it had a lower budget, it would be a fan film.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you get. So Gareth Edwards has Gareth Daniels, yes.
Gareth Edwards, yeah.
Gareth Edwards, director of Monsters, has actually come into this, which is a very good director, and he's done an absolutely wonderful job. He's obviously come in with a lot of kind of love for the franchise, because that really comes through in the movie. So you got Felicity Jones. You got a host of good characters in there. Who all kind of like, it's very hard because it's kind of like, it is a war movie. Okay, it's a war movie, like you would watch a war movie about the Second World War.
Yeah.
The outcome's already in your mind. You know what happened. You know how he won. Dirty Dozen springs to mind.
Yeah.
There's some Dirty Dozen in there. This ragtag band of people come together, and the pacing of the film is I think it's okay. I mean, I must admit, I was kind of waiting for it to kick off a little bit. It was slow and deliberate in character building. Everybody was doing something all the way through the movie. They tried to minimize the amount of coincidence situations of like, how convenient that you're here, and how convenient you're here. But the Star Wars franchise, I think the Star Wars franchise is also, as part of the universe, it's almost inherited. Is like, people come together very quickly in these. I would have liked to seen this movie kind of to be, come out over a matter of weeks, a matter of months. I would have liked to seen these events string out over a long period of time. The problem, I mean, one of the main problem, well, it's not a problem, but it's a format that you get with A New Hope, with the Force Awakens, is that everything has to be done in almost like 48 hours.
Yeah.
And it's not an Eddie Murphy film. You don't need to do this in 48 hours.
Yeah.
The books, which this is a movie adaptation of probably one of the fan fiction books by Timothy Zahn or something like that I read and loved the past couple of years before Disney scrapped them or was saying they're not canon. These books were adventures over a long period of time. They followed characters as they spent 3 months on Yavin, as they spent 2 months out in the Outer Rim. These kind of things were very But with this one, it's kind of like, let's push these people together. Let's just get going and blah, blah, blah. And it, you know, it feels a little bit rushed in the timeline, even though they're only showing you the highlights. They're showing the bits that are relevant. I wouldn't have minded if they would have faded out now and again. Just fade out, just to signify a length of time.
Yeah.
So if you fade, right, like an old war movie, right, they have this confrontation. Okay, well, we've got like a 2 month, 2 month ride together now to reach our objective. Right, fade out. Boom, you've got some time there. You suddenly kind of like think, okay, well, what's happened in that time? Obviously, these characters have gelled a little bit more. There's been some things that have happened. There's been some kind of time together, and you know, they've maybe become tighter. I just didn't like the fact that there was kind of like these people were forced together and almost instantly had to make judgments on them and became friends. I was like, okay, yeah, there's a common enemy here. I do get that, but there's, I mean, like I said, Dirty Dozen, they all have to be thrown together, and then they kind of like split off into the people they like and the people they don't like. With these guys, it's like, let's all be friends. Yeah. Like straight away. I've never met you before, man, but I think I love you. You know, that kind of kind of stuff. That's one of the other thing I ought to say in a negative sense, because I'm going to say a lot of positive about this film, is the crowbarring of certain nods. I think we're past nods now. In the Star Wars universe, we are old enough in our 30s, 40s to actually, some people appreciate nods. To, you know, I'm past nods. I don't care about nods anymore. And I think you know what scene I'm talking about. There was a nod in there that I was like, there's no need for that. Yeah, there's no need for that. There's like the chances that those characters would have actually bumped in together is bullshit. No chance in a million. So just don't give me the nod. I'd rather they didn't do it. Other ones, which such as like maybe the use of previous footage and things like that, I think worked quite well. And I'm quite happy with that. So you know, that wasn't intrusive.
Yeah.
So those are the only points. Other than that, I would say that it's a good war movie. I would almost say it's Battlefront the movie.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, I'd say.
Because it is, because as soon as you look at it, it gives me the same reaction to when I first played Battlefront on the PS4. Battlefront took us a little bit deeper into the war that was going on between the Empire and the Rebels, or the Alliance, and it gave you new troopers, it gave you new weapons, it gave you new environments, it showed you new equipment, and all these kind of things are like, right, because you've never had access to this stuff before. This is what Rogue One does. This is what Battlefront now has got, a Rogue One levels on it as well for free, and so you get to see different trooper sets, you get to see different equipment and stuff like that, different environments, and that's the kind of feeling I get the kind of, that's cool, that's cool, like that one, you know. And I felt as well that they kept the time, because they had to fall in line with the 70s, if that, you know, the 70s vision of this world. I think they did that quite well.
I think so too.
And then with you know, The Force Awakens, they've kind of gone a bit further. So this is why I think it's just a standalone piece. And I actually watched A New Hope straight after it, the next day, just to kind of like give myself some reference. And I felt good. Yeah, I felt good about it. I watched the despecialized version, because that's the only one I ever watch. I don't ever watch the normal one. I watched the despecialized version. Mike, if you can get hold of them, they are gold. The despecialized,
the original version.
No, the despecialized basically is in HD format, but with all the George Lucas extras taken out.
Right, good. Yeah,
and it's really good. It's the purest one. I mean, they don't change a thing. But it's all in really good quality, really good sound quality and everything. But it's all been despecialized, so they're available online. And so yeah, I've got to say, you know, 5 out of 5 for me. I say 5 out of 5. I think it's a great film. If you're a Star Wars fan, then it's an absolute must. I think if you're looking to create Star Wars fans, I think it's a great thermometer to see how much they're into the franchise, because like I think if kids are just starting to watch like Force Awakens, and of course they've built that loyalty in there, if they really want to find out about the dirty, dark stuff that's going on in the underbelly of all this, and that's what it is. It's a darker movie. It's like, you know, dark movies have always been The Empire Strikes Back, but I say that this just about gets away with it as kind of like a dark spin-off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got to say it is very good. And taking into account those things I said, I give it a thumbs up.
Cool. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up. I give it a thumbs up in a mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Right, okay. So I've pissed a few people off already today with
all right, we like that. We like controversy.
So because this film seems to be universally loved. So let me start off with a disclaimer. I enjoyed this film. I really did. I don't want anyone to think I didn't enjoy it. I think it's confidently directed. I think there's some impressive cinematography in there. And yes, like you said, it feels like a World War II film that has been transposed to the Star Wars universe. So I think that's really commendable on Gareth Edwards' part, because you know, it shows a creative audacity in a way, you know, to me, to try and pay homage to what has come before, but at the same time explore new territory. So I completely appreciate that. There's also some pretty impressive performances for a Star Wars film. I mean, if you look at the prequels actors, there's some really good actors in the prequels, but it seems as if almost their acting has been subdued by George Lucas's micromanagement.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, the prequels for me were some of the worst performances out, I've got to say, in any of the movies.
But I'm saying, like, take Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor are perfectly good actors in their own right. But you feel like that, you're like, no, we don't overact it. It's a Star Wars film. Just say the lines, you know, almost as if it's.
But then the whole thing was green screen as well, so they were reacting to nothing.
So there's a coldness to it, whereas here I felt like, I mean, just to give you an idea, without giving away spoilers, there's an actor in this film who has to emote to a hologram. That is not an easy thing to do, and it's done sublime in a sublime manner in that scene. And anyway, and even the actors in the smallest roles, you feel like they're given their 100% to make an impression, because I feel like I get some of them. They're at the age where you must think feeling this is my chance to be in a Star Wars film. Let's do a good job like that, and you get that, and it's so yeah. There's some pretty impressive performances in that, I thought.
I do just to say that with the performances, Felicity Jones.
I love Felicity Jones.
Very good, but I thought. I felt a little bit for her, because I felt the trailers were actually bigging her up as this real badass.
Yeah.
And it didn't come across at all.
No.
It came across as quite vulnerable.
Yeah. But this is what it is. She didn't give me the impression of being a badass. She gave me the impression of being a vulnerable yet very brave and capable character in her own right. And that's And I thought, I believe that more. Like, to be honest, Felicity Jones, as much as, like I said, as much as I have a lot of affection for her, I wouldn't buy her as a badass anyway.
Yeah, which is, it didn't, with the teasers that I saw, there were some lines out of the teasers I didn't even see in the final cut, which I thought was very strange. Yeah. Like the line was just like, I rebel, you know. Yeah. Do you remember that from the teaser and stuff like that? And I was just like, didn't see any.
Yeah.
Well, so it was very mixed, and apparently they did a lot of reshoots. So I wonder whether in the reshoots this got lost or it got taken in a different direction.
I was going to save coming back the reshoots at the later.
No, yeah, you go on. You go on.
Sorry,
I
no,
might not break your throw anymore. But that was just about Felicity Jones. I was saying
Yeah,
because you were saying about performances.
So yeah, there's all of this which I really appreciated. There's some bits which I can't reveal here because this is the spoiler-free version.
The spoiler-free,
which
much as we can.
got me pumped and raising my fist in the air too. Almost punching the person next to me. Anyway, this is where a huge butt comes in for me.
Huge butt.
Yeah, it's in B-U-T. Huge butt. Right. There is a problem for me with this film, and that is that we know how it's going to end. The Force Awakens, there was this sense of sense of adventure and the excitement of going off into the unknown, saying we don't know what could come next. You know, it could go, you know, any direction. This kind of sense of excitement, which I imagine people must have felt when the films first came out in the 70s. So all of a sudden, after The Force Awakens, which was both a huge hit, blockbuster hit, and it was a hit with critics as well. The idea of going to effectively back to another prequel, you know, I'm like, right, okay, yeah. And as much as it's well directed, it's still a prequel, and I still know how it's going to end. And this isn't, if you're into your Star Wars lore, this isn't a spoiler, but the main characters are sacrificial lambs, effectively.
Yeah.
In this film, and therefore it makes it very difficult for me to care about them because I'm like, well, they're not going to stick around long, you know, so I'm not as much as this might annoy some people, apart from Felicity Jones's character and Kay the droid, I don't remember any other characters' names, and they didn't make that much big an impression on me. And then the other big problem for me is that this is a story that was summed up in a few lines in A New Hope, and at times this feels like an epic battle, which that final epic battle is preposterous in a good way. It's an amazing long battle scene, but it feels like an epic battle scene with a lengthy prologue tagged onto it, and so I felt that way a bit about it. So.
Well, I think we can go into more detail in the spoiler thing because there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot of that I agree, but there's like some interesting choices all round by how they actually.
Oh no, exactly. You know,
went about it.
It's so effectively this is the feature-length version of a filler episode to me. You know, it's a brilliantly directed filler episode, but it's anyway a bit it's not
paperback.
To me, it feels like I can imagine a few years later if my son asks me, oh, what Star Wars films are we going to watch in what order? I would say Rogue One it's a nice but it's a nice bonus. It's not it doesn't make for essential viewing as some of the other episodes. I can imagine I will eventually.
Do you think it's worthy enough to be in the same, almost in the same orbit as A New Hope, as a supplement to A New Hope?
Yeah, well, it's no, like I said, it's if you're a proper fan, I'll say, damn right, you're going to watch it, you know. But I can understand if some people are into Star Wars but not hardcore. They might. I wouldn't blame them if they came out and they went, all right, so what, you know. It was like saying Good Friday night out, but has it really added in the end that much to?
But it is a gutsy move by Disney. Obviously, that's paid off. It's paid off, but it is a gutsy move to make a fan film, to make a die-hard.
Oh no, it is. But this is where the other comment.
Yeah.
This is where I have the other comment, and this is where things get horribly cynical. And you mentioned reshoots. Some people say, like, if the internet is to be believed, it's not just random online users. It's, you know, some news sites and all that. You know, like they, according to some rumors, the final product, Gareth Edwards only directed 60% of it. and the lengthy reshoots had to be done supervised by Tony Gilroy, who's the screenwriter on the film, and he was also, I think, the director of the Bourne Legacy, I believe. And well, he definitely he worked on the Bourne films, and apparently he was cut in because the tone was too inconsistent with other Star Wars films, or Disney was not happy with some of the choices that Gareth Edwards made. It's one of those things where you're like, I'd rather not know that, because it kind of, like I said, it spoils it a bit.
Yeah, but I didn't get any sense. I didn't ever notice that. I mean, it wasn't until until after I'd actually watched it, I found out about this. But I didn't ever go, oh, that explains it.
Yeah, but the reason why I brought this up is because if you said like, and I agree, if in theory these standalone films, because we've got Rogue One, we've got Han Solo prequel,
Han Solo, we've got the Lando Calrissian. Oh, is it Lando Calrissian having his own?
No, I think he's going to be in the
Han Solo one. Okay, and then there's what's the one called Angel One or something like that. There is another one which is really out there.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm just aware of Han Solo spin-off, Boba Fett spin-off, and Rogue One, and maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi. But the fact is, if these are meant to be fan films, hey Andy,
hey,
hey,
there he is, just in time. I'm just about to wrap up my bit about Rogue One.
Cool.
If these are indeed fan films, but on a large scale, with directors who've been longtime fans of Star Wars, and finally they've been given their own sandpit and money to play in it, then why would you stifle their creativity and get someone else in, make it a bit more like the other films that we've seen? That's the thing which I find very cynical in that sense. Talking about reshoots, Andy.
Reshoots.
By the way, Andy, this is a spoiler-free. This is a spoiler-free Rogue One edition, and then we are going to have a spoiler fest discussion, either directly after or on one quite soon, and then post it separately.
Cool. I heard that the reshoots were done by a completely different director.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Tony, the screenwriter, right?
Interesting. Yes, yeah. It's a bit odd. But I guess if he's someone that, I don't know, is able to finish off the job properly, I don't know. It's hard to say, really, because I really like the director, Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want to get right into my spiel straight away, but I don't know how you guys feel, if you've seen or like Monsters and Godzilla.
I like Monsters.
I love Monsters.
Godzilla?
Not so much.
Not too keen on Godzilla.
I really like Godzilla. That's probably, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen. I've seen the Roland Emmerich early 2000s horror story of a film, but I've never actually seen any other Godzilla films, I don't think. And I lived in Japan, so that's pretty bad. But I really like his Godzilla. Thought it was well pitched and very post 9/11. Had a good feel to it.
Well, I just wanted to, as we actually wrap up with our, I mean, I gave my rating at the end of it. Mike, how would you sum up all of your review there and your actual overview of the film then? If you had to give it out of 5.
Out of 5, we don't do half.
We don't do halves, because that would be out of 10.
Okay, 3.
So 3 out of 5. Okay, interesting. I gave it a 5.
Oh.
You gave it a 3. You gave it, and he gave it a 3. So if you're done, Mike, I think it's time for Andy to put his 2 cents in. So Andy, your review of Rogue One.
Well, I mostly liked Rogue One, and I think Mike and I felt the same way, in that the first half of it felt a little bit plodding, a little bit kind of, we've got this random bit that we need to start with, and we need to get all of the pieces of the board game in place for the big setup at the end, which I guess is how every film begins and finishes. Every story.
We've already talked about my kind of beef with, like, everything getting everything getting together and
Yeah.
finished within 48 hours, which is, I hate that. I just,
Yeah.
you could span it out longer. You could show the passage of time. You could suggest things that people have
I
been.
get what you're saying. Yeah, it is a bit frustrating why they can't make you never know. The characters themselves don't have much time to really interact, to really build a relationship.
But yet they have such a strong relationship
Yeah,
at the end of an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
It's like one of our live streams.
So I've got a few issues with that, but for me, the final set piece really pays off for a lot of what's come before. And to be honest, like with the first half, and it might have been the beer that I had just before we went into the cinema or the long day at work, but the first half, I was nodding off at a few points, but maybe I'm just getting old. And it was quite dark at the beginning as well. I'm old.
Stop being nice, Andy.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I think it plodded a bit, and then picked on a little bit more.
It's got and a lot of films fail in their third acts these days, and this was a really good third act. It really paid off. It was probably one of the best third acts of the year. It was just constant action, constantly something happening, and that whole, at the end of Return of the Jedi, where you've got stuff going on and Endor, it really picks up on that and throws everything in there, which I thought was just great. Really what the franchise needed. And I think, The Force Awakens did that to an extent, but this one really executed it properly. And yeah, I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but I thought that it was the best that Darth Vader has ever looked and behaved on screen that I've ever seen. And he's not in it very much. It's
no,
and he really stood out to me. I don't know how much you guys have talked about the other things that crop up in the film.
Well, no, we've mentioned, but really we'll go
there later.
Yeah, we'll go there later, and like I said, there are some real.
But you give it 5. I'd give it.
Well,
4.
I'd give it 5 because there has not been anything like it, and I'm not judging it on. I think if it was an episode, if it was one of the episodes, I wouldn't give it a 5,
right,
at all. But it's not one of the episodes. It's the first movie outside of. It's the first Star Wars movie that's been made outside of the episodes. So it's not an episodic one. It's almost like if this didn't have the Disney budget, if you look on Cody or if you look on any kind of thing like that, you will see fan movies, low budget fan movies, all the way through there on YouTube of everything, of people trying to do this. Finally, someone's gone, I'll give you some money to do that.
Yeah.
And so they've taken a Timothy Zahn book, or they've taken they've taken one of those great paperbacks that we went into Forbidden Planet, picked up, read, got lost in the universe, and then it was its own self-contained story and it went on your bookshelf. And I think that is what this film is, and that's why I think it's gutsy, and it's kind of like it's paying off in the way of like, right, we're not giving you the books anymore. We're not telling you guys we can't be bothered to make a movie for you. You got to go to a bookshop and you got to imagine it in your own head. They're saying, you know what, your dollar is worth it to us, and your actual loyalty is worth it to us. We are just going to make this total like paperback Pulp Fiction almost story, and we're going to put it out there in the public domain for you and see if it sticks.
Which is why I thought Gareth Edwards is the perfect director for this film, because he is your British nerdy, probably went to Warhammer when he was went and played Warhammer when he was 15 years old, real geek and really into his special effects and tech, and would have been into that sort of fiction, would have been into what's the Thorn trilogy, that kind of thing, the expanded universe of Star Wars. He would have read those books. He would have been inspired by those stories. So it is perfect for him to go on, and he's got his own unique vision that, to be honest, it's the screenwriter that came up with it in the end, but he would have been invested in those sorts of stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Mike's already said the kind of like, the establishing. Again, we really need to go into this kind of like uncensored to properly break open, break some eggs and go through it a little bit more. It's because the outcome as well. It's not. You're not leading to anything. You're not kind of like creating anything to move on.
I guess.
So it's very difficult. It's very difficult, but it's standalone. It's kind of like, remember when we won the war? This happened. It's one of those situations. So, and
it's kind of like a Second World War II kind of film. Band of brothers getting together and
Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen getting in there and killing the Nazis. It's got that real gutsy feel.
So out of 5, Andy,
it's a 4, and it is a low 4. It's
okay. 3, 4, 5.
There you go.
3, 4, 5. That's it.
So from ManCave, that's roughly a 4 then, if we're doing averages.
I'd go along with that. I think between us, I'm quite happy with that. But like I said, I think it's, for me, I think I probably scored it higher just because of what it represents and what it's done to set up the fan kingdom for the future. It means it's okay to make the small spin-off stories that might have a niche following. It's okay to do that. You can you've got the franchise. You can step away from the episodes and do something else for us.
Yeah.
TV shows, I don't see anything wrong with TV shows. I think they've handled Star Wars Rebels really well. I think it's really, if you haven't been following it, there's some stuff coming in there that's like, which is going to directly link in with everything.
Yeah.
And I think they've handled it quite well. I mean, they've obviously marketed it for kids and there's lots of fillers, but it's fillers in standalone stories again. And I think it's okay to do that. And I think a TV show set in the Star Wars universe without any link to anything that's going on in any of the episodes or anything like that would be completely warranted.
Yeah.
Something where character development is given plenty of time to breathe. And I mean, if they've done it with Luke Cage, like you guys have already said, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, these aren't top mainstream franchise characters, but they've given themselves air to breathe and given them a platform to find their fan base. And I don't think that Star Wars should be afraid, which is quite nice to see. But, cool. Yeah. So we've all got, honestly, Andy, you should watch this back afterwards because we've had some gold from me and Mike on it, if I do say so myself, some absolute gold. Non-spoiler gold.
Yeah,
indeed.
Well, I've got the Star Wars Battlefront DLC to get through all of it because I haven't played any of it yet.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I think my favorite is
Bespin.
Bespin's my favorite.
And is that just Cloud City or is it Bespin as well? Just
no, it's just Cloud City.
It's just Cloud City.
It's weird because a part of it looks very much like Cloud City, and then another part of it looks like it's bigger than Cloud City.
Weird.
So, it looks quite vast.
They called it Bespin then.
Yeah, they've just called it Bespin.
Okay.
So it could be both.
Yeah.
And the thing is with Bespin is that it's the only thing. It's the only thing in the Star Wars movies that doesn't look broken. It's one of the only environment that looks clean and unbroken, apart from the Empire's one. Bespin is just seeing this battle just kick off. where everything's just clean and unbroken. It's quite a lovely level, really. It looks really good.
Cool.
So yeah, they got those. Yeah, and the Rogue One stuff's okay. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but you know, it's a novelty more than anything else. Too many star battles. Too many fighter star battles. I don't really agree with those. So
fair enough.
So,
yeah.
Cool.
Right, well,
so
I'll get playing that. I'm on Christmas break now.
Yeah, man.
School's out.
Oh, look at the stain. Look at the face. Mike is not happy with that. When do you break up? When you finish school, Mike?
Oh, Friday afternoon, Liam.
Oh man, you got to properly wait. That's all right. We got a lot break.
Yeah,
we got a break after that. Listen, guys. I mean, I was saying, Mike did his first multiplayer Titanfall session with myself, Ali, and Ash the other day.
Yeah.
Andy, you would have been proud of him. He did quite well.
I couldn't get in there. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, he did quite well.
To.
He couldn't actually talk to us because he didn't plug it.
It is the best multiplayer I've played. It's the other ones don't really compare, to be honest. COD doesn't compare.
No,
controversial. It's way better.
Yeah, the seesaw of momentum in it.
It is.
It makes you feel like everything you do is worth doing, or like you can actually make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, a few decisions and you're in.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're running low on time, but
sorry.
I just wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I think this was a group topic we all chatted about.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to go first?
I think.
Now, you can base this on different.
Yeah, no, it's
there could be a personal Christmas movie. I think there could be a family Christmas movie, and your best Christmas movie memory. I guess I think it's not fair to just say what is your one Christmas movie.
No, there are a few actually. To be honest, I mean, one of them, this has got to do with the age I'm at, is Home Alone. That screams Christmas to me.
That music always reminds me of Christmas in Home Alone. Oh.
We lost Michael.
I think we have.
Oh, bloody hell.
He's just frozen.
Oh.
Let it go. Let it go. He is frozen.
Why would you do that?
Andy, what is your Christmas movie?
My favourite Christmas movie is, personal favourite Christmas movie is Die Hard.
Oh man, I was gonna say, yeah. Oh, totally with you with that one, man.
I can go for another one if you want me to.
No, actually, you know what? No. This is
You know what? Actually, I've had a couple of beers, to be honest, this evening. So my personal favorite Christmas is Christmas movie is A Christmas Story.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a. I watched that in the 80s, so I'm surprised that you guys picked up on that.
I think it's one which has kind of had a bit of a renaissance a few years ago, and everybody my age went, "Oh my God, there's this really quirky Christmas movie from the 80s. It's brilliant. It's set in the 50s. It feels like it's from the 50s, but it's totally weird, And it's the
BB gun.
Yeah, the BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out. All of that stuff. It's
Daniel Stern.
Fantastic. Yeah, really slapstick. It's such a classic. It's got such a good Christmassy feel, and there's kind of darker moments in it as well, where he's got to learn his lessons. He's got to learn to be patient and that sort of thing, and be good. It's nice. It's got a few moral stories in there, but it's very, very funny. Very
Wonder Years type stuff.
Yeah.
Fred Savage, Wonder Years type stuff.
Yeah. It does feel like a really long TV episode in a way, but it's very, it's got a good visual eye. It's very cinematic at the same time. Yeah.
Yours? Well, I mean, I went to, I think it's Christmas in '89. My mum took me to Disney World, and one of the first movies that we watched first day at Disney World, we come home, Die Hard was on, and it was like, this is Christmas week, and I'd never, because it wasn't even over here at the time, and it was on like TV there, and it just reminds me, I was like, this is a Christmas movie, awesome. So I've got a real good memory of that. So I've always think of kind of Die Hard as a Christmas movie, even though that people are, oh, is it a Christmas movie?
It is.
Family Christmas movie, I've got to say that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
It's a brilliant one.
It is so funny. It was on the other day. Oh, Mike's back. We're just going through our Christmas list, and then we'll come back. He's on another device, I can tell.
I am indeed, yeah.
So yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's got to be my family favorite Christmas movie. My mum still laughs. I just remember my mum just like laughing her head off at that because it was just so. It is wacky. It's one of Chevy Chase's best movies as well.
Yeah.
They really got the tone of it right, more than any of the other National Lampoons, which were very good, but they really recaptured that.
I think
So
I think the family favorite for us, and I'd love to say that it's like Gremlins or something, but it's the Snowman, probably. It's not really a film, but
no, it's lovely though.
It is really nice, and
that's a nice family one.
Yeah. I don't really.
Good shout. Good shout,
Mike. So we've done a personal. It's kind of like a personal Christmas one. We've also done a family Christmas one as well. One that you kind of got a fond memory, or your favorite one to enjoy with the family.
Is it sad if I say that we don't have a family one?
Oh, right. Not really. It's just a personal thing. I can't.
No, I mean, there's like a personal one, and this is not because I watch it every year, but simply because when I think of Christmas films, this just screams Christmas to me. Is Home Alone. You know.
Home Alone, yeah. Home Alone.
I just remember watching when I was, when it came out, like for 3 years after that, every Christmas we'd watch it, my friends and I. So. You've got that, and, that's one. Another one, this is a very odd one, and it's purely because it's, A, I'm a comic book geek, and B, it takes place at Christmas, is Batman Returns.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Yeah,
so.
I can see that.
Yeah, no, it's a very dark, perverse Christmas film, but still one that I try to watch every Christmas. And funnily enough, one thing which it's not a Christmas film, it's just something that I usually watch over Christmas has always been Star Wars. So,
well, fair enough.
Yeah,
and keeping on the Tim Burton theme that you just mentioned, Nightmare Before Christmas as well.
Of course, gosh, yeah.
But always a bit funny about Nightmare Before Christmas these days, because I still think my memory of that film is better than watching the film again nowadays.
I don't think it stands up now. I think I tried watching it recently, and I just no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same kind of interest that it did. I never really think the interest. I think I should have. I felt I should have liked it because it was different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too sure whether it actually...
There wasn't anything that you'd really seen before up until then, was it?
The stop animation. And also the way that Tim Burton actually pictures things. It's just, because if you think about it, Edward Scissorhands was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
That was all set at Christmas as well.
Yeah.
So Mike's doing weird things with his camera.
Yeah, Mike's frozen on...
He's frozen sideways this time. And I got to say, just added to it, if you're in the UK and you are asked what a Christmas movie is, you got to have a Christmas movie. You got to have a Boxing Day movie, and it's got to be The Great Escape, because I think for a good probably 17 years of my life, The Great Escape was on every Boxing Day without fail in the UK.
I like The Great Escape, but not every year.
It was though every year, wasn't it? Like, what's on Boxing Day? Oh, The Great Escape. It was almost like you could set your watch by it. Is it 1 o'clock? Oh yeah, what Great Escape's on?
Yeah.
And then every year it got that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. And like I said, we are going to record something. I think we might even record something very, very soon. And then we'll post it up. So thank you very much to Mike for his in-depth reviews.
Thank you.
And thank you, Andy, for joining us. And I think Yeah, for showing up, and we rogued won the hell out of this live stream. So thank you very much for joining us, and please do check the channel for our new spoiler frenzy of Rogue One. If we don't speak to you before, have a Merry Christmas, and yeah, see you again. Bye.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.